Okay, welcome back, kids. We're going to be doing more two-point perspective ideas for your cityscape. Um, One thing I was going to show you how to do, and I will try to zoom in a little bit on this, is to make a sign on the side of your uh, building that stands out a little bit from your building. So what I'm going to do is make a vertical line, and this line will go to the vanishing point. This line will go to the vanishing point. Vertical parallel line here. This is below my horizon line, so I'm going to see the top of this very small sign here that is standing out away from the building. Okay, so zoom in on that. Take a good look at how that is done. And then you could do some writing in there, like we showed you earlier. You could also do underneath, if you wanted to do like a little inset area in your building before you go into your building. So what I'm going to have is I'm going to have doors that are in here, but they're set back. So what I've done is I've gone vertical here to the vanishing point, vertical here. Okay. Next, I'm going to just take this corner and go to the left vanishing point. I'm not going to go all the way back because I'm going to stop it about right there. Then I'm going to make my line back there. And then this is the inside corner that is vertical. Okay. So what I have here is this could be a little opening to the building. And you could have the doors that you wouldn't be able to see the entire door because they are kind of covered up. And you go like that. You could put a window down next to it if you wanted to, put some detail. Okay. You could put some windows in your doors if you wanted to also. Put a couple of lines there and it will show like the reflection. I'm going to go in a little bit more. And if you really like to put details on your project, you could get in here and you could put like maybe a little trash can here. And what it's going to be is just a box. Just going to make a box. And I'm going to erase the tops of this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you can kind of see what's going on. Try to focus here. There we go. So that will be erased. That will be erased. And then that will go that way. That goes to the left vanishing point. This goes to the right vanishing point. Now this is just basically a box, but what you can do is you can put an oval in the top to kind of make it look like a trash can, and then if you just kind of shade it on that side, it will give it some depth. Okay, and then you could put little dots on there to kind of make it look maybe like that's one of those concrete ones. I could make a carpet coming out here, kind of like a red carpet. you wanted to. That's going to the right vanishing point, and you can color that in something different. So there's some really cool details just for one building. So let's zoom back out again. And let's make this building pretty cool. We're going to put some other neat things in here. What we're going to do is, at the top of this apartment complex or whatever it is, they have the premier apartment complex at the top. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to make a patio that comes out. So I'm going to start out with a very small line here. I'm going to zoom in on this so you guys can see what we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to make this patio come out, away from the building, away from the building, and then I'm going to go down here. This is going to go to the right vanishing point, to the right vanishing point. Okay. Also on the bottom, you're going to go to the right vanishing point. Now this is important. You need to know where you're going to go to the left vanishing point here, because if you put it over here, that means your platform's going over the edge. And we don't want your platform to go over the edge. So I'm going to go into right here and push it out here and then go vertical here. Now you might think that this is going over the edge, but it's not. That's just an illusion. If you're looking straight on, it would not look like that. But this does come away from the building like a platform of some sort. A nice patio. You might want to put some railings on since you're going to be up pretty high. So I'm going to put some railings here, and to get the top of that railing to look all the same, I'm going to go a light line there. That's going to show me how tall it should be over here. Same thing going this way. I'm going to make a little platform here. Make my little end post here. And then what I could do is you could do a number of things. You could make this a glass if you wanted to. So I could put, and that's something you would want to do if you're living up on a tall high-rise, is you'd make it glass. So the top and the bottom will just have these glass fixtures, and they'll just be put on like so. You can still see through them because they're glass. You're going to see that other side of the building. And what you're going to want to do is when you color this in, it could be like a light blue, and then just put a couple of lines in there to show that it looks like glass, the reflection. A little more reflection there. Now you could actually see through here, which is going to get a little more complex, but you should be able to see the doors because this is all glass. So I'm going to put a door here. Maybe I'll put like the handle here, but this is going to go through there. So I'm going to put another glass panel here, another glass panel here. Going to the left vanishing point, left vanishing point. More glass reflection. Okay, and if you shaded that in, it would be pretty cool too. So there's another option. If you wanted to, you could make a number of these going down, sticking out like that. Whatever you choose. If you wanted to, we'll get off that building for a moment. We're going to go to this building. If you wanted to step up your building, what you can do is just move over a little bit, go up with a line, down to your vanishing point, down to your vanishing point, and over to your vanishing point here, and then you have your building stepped up here. You could put some windows in here if you wanted to. You know, you can make some cathedral style windows here with rounded tops. if that's something you wanted to do for your building and design it. It's a little too narrow there, so I'm going to widen that out. Okay, so now what I'm going to be doing is arch here, arch here, and erase these extra lines. Okay, now what I could do on this, if I wanted to look more like of a cathedral style, you could go up again, and then this is kind of breaking the rules of perspective because I'm going to make this a triangular top. Okay, so this could go to here, and this could go to here, and then you'd have like a triangular top there. So that's another fun little option that you could do. Okay, we did talk about before, I think we put on a skywalk between here. We could put another skywalk here. This one is right on the horizon line, so you don't have to make the top of the bottom. So I'm going to go from here to here, so you can go from the cathedral to your house. How convenient. Okay, so I'm going to make some windows in here, so when you're crossing over, you're going to be able to see out across the skywalk, crosswalk. And I'll just break this up. Remember, these are vertical and parallel to all the other vertical lines. Okay. And again, you could put some glass glare in there, or if you really wanted to get fancy with this, you could, well, you could give it some thickness, which is kind of tough to do when it's right on the horizon line. That's going to go there. That would go up there. You're going to see the top and the bottom at the same time, which is can be difficult to draw unless you have a really sharp pencil. I do not have a sharp pencil. Now, if you did that on both sides, you could kind of see the inside. So there's something that you could do also. Let's go and move down to the road here, and I'll zoom back out. On the road, there are a lot of things you could do. If you have a crosswalk, what we could do is do two lines going down like this, okay? And then we're going to separate these into lines that are would be painted onto the road. Remember, we're always going to the vanishing point when we do this. Okay, then I erase these insides, and then you would color those in, or just leave them white, color in around them dark. You can also do the road lines going down the center of the road. Okay, and split those off, split that. As they get back further, they're going to get smaller. You don't want to keep them the same width. They're getting narrower, so they should be getting closer together also. And you can just go back a little bit until they kind of disappear into, into the atmosphere back there. Now, if you have some room back here and you want to make some more buildings, you could always do something like that also. Just a simple building, going to the vanishing point, going down here. If you wanted to, stack it again, you could. Here's another building, vanishing point, vertical line. left vanishing point. In the background, you have a lot of area back there that you could put. If you wanted to put a tree, you have some area here. This could be like a park-like setting. You could put a sidewalk coming down here also, and then you would break up your sidewalk like this. So there's a sidewalk on both sides. I don't have my other sidewalk done yet, but I could put this one here. These lines are coming from the left vanishing point. Remember, whenever you're going to the left or right, you must be going to a vanishing point. So you could do a park-like setting here. I'm going to show you how to draw a tree. You want to know how to draw a tree? Okay, we'll zoom in so you can see it real good. Hopefully you've been drawing light. So what I'm going to do is the base of my tree will have this root system that goes in, and you can have some little grass parts that come up. You could even have, you know, if you wanted to have a little flower growing here. Okay, so I'm going to have this tree come up, all right, and it's going to start to branch out, but it's not going to branch out all the way because we have the leaves that are growing on. Now here all of that work is going to be erased, but this overlapping is really important when it comes to creating depth. So it's okay to have to erase some of your work. That's why we draw light, because we're always making changes. If you want to make this tree look a little more interesting, instead of having this big green area here, you could put a small portion of the branch kind of sticking out here, and another smaller one sticking out here, and you just do a couple of bushy type lines here and like this, and it creates a neat little effect that it's like the branches are coming out. You could put some more texture into here, and the more detail you put into these areas that were just blank before, it's just going to make your project look that much better. Remember, in the background, things are smaller, so we're going to move on to the back here. There's just a tiny area back there, but it's important, and you should do something with it. You could put some trees back there. You could put buildings back as far as you can possibly see. Or maybe you could just kind of see some hills in the background, or maybe there's, you know, a big mountain range way off 50 miles away that you could see. But remember, this is your horizon line, so the ground is here and the sky is here. And your clouds, when they're way back towards the horizon line, they're very small. And then as they come up higher, away from the horizon line, they're going to be getting larger and larger and larger. Maybe you could have like the sun peeking through here. Sorry about that, I didn't zoom out so you couldn't see what I was doing. You don't have to put the sun there, but you could. Just some other options. You can color this in any way you want, and we can get into that later on. So that's some ideas that you can do. One thing most kids are going to forget about is, how do I do windows? So I'm going to do some windows again, just in case you forgot how to do windows, because that's one of the most popular questions when we get started. I'm going to start on this side, and I'm going to make my line, and it's away from this corner. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to measure an inch, and then a half of an inch, and then an inch, and that's it. I'm just going to make two windows here just for demonstration reasons. So I have the height of two windows, and once I have the height, I must go, because I'm on the right side of the building, to the right vanishing point. So I'm going to the right vanishing point. Okay, now this isn't separated yet, but I'd like to go over here and where my window ends, Make sure your window does not end on the wall, but only on a little bit away from it. Now I'm going to put some separation between here because there's going to be 4 windows all together. So I'm going to put one here, and then I'm going to put a gap here. Now it's important that this window is not bigger than this window, because as things get further away, they get smaller and narrower. So it's important that you think about that when drawing your windows. Okay, so there's a window. You could put some curtains in those windows if you want. Okay, I'll put some curtains in. This is how I draw my curtains. They kind of look like they're folded. You can put them on both sides if you want. It's up to you. I'm going to do my door down here, and I want to kind of keep it in level with this one right here. So I'm going to line that up and bring that all the way down, and then I have some doors, and I'll make a double door here. And erase. Just put a handle on the inside here. Okay. So there's some doors. One more thing, which a lot of kids like to do, over here, I'm going to have, I'll move over to this building. You want to try to make all your buildings look interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a door again. The way I figure out this door height is, this is where all the door heights would be here, because I've extended this line out here. I've extended that line. This line here is going to go now all the way back here. Now that tells me how tall all of my door heights are. I don't need a door on this side because the entryway is over here, but over here I need a door. So I'm going to put my door here. I'm going to put a little handle on here. I'm drawing light because I know I'm going to have to erase. Okay, and I'm going to put a, maybe I'll put 2 doors here. Put 2 doors. Okay, very common. 2 doors. Maybe one doesn't even work. It's just one of those fake doors. So I'll put a door handle there, door handle here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a canopy that goes over this. So I'm going to my right vanishing point here. And I'm going to start about right here and draw a line out. Okay? All right? That's going to the right vanishing point. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make this I'm just going to make this a box, kind of. I'm just going to go up here. And instead of really topping off my box here, I'm just going to arch it. Okay? So I'm going to erase. And I have this arch, and it's anything inside of that arch must be erased. So here's my arch. The bottom line goes to the right vanishing point. I line up this corner with the left vanishing point, draw my line. I'm going to come right to the very top where my ruler, I'm going to line it up with my vanishing point, and as soon as I hit the very top part of that line, I'm going to draw another line going to the vanishing point. Okay. Now, this line right here, I want to mimic right here. So it's going to come up and over. Okay. Now I'm going to erase any extra lines that I don't need. Okay. We can't see the door inside. So you re-erase that. And then as you can see this canopy. Now if it's a big canopy and it needs some extra support, maybe you would put a couple of these little bars that come down. See? Do something like that. Now make sure those bars are aligned, because as you can see here, I just guessed, and that was a mistake. I have to come down to and do the math. You got to do the math. Come down, and there's that. You could put some little decorative design on your canopy. You know, maybe this is like an Italian restaurant, so what I'm going to do is I'll make like some stripes that go around. These are contour lines, and this could be, you know, your red, white, and green. You could put some numbers on here, and you would write those in perspective. That's the address to your um, your restaurant. So I'll put 1, 2, and 5, just random numbers here. So again, here's some great ideas. How about a little water gutter in the side of the street? So I'm going to make some vertical lines. This is going to go to the left vanishing point. This is going to come out to the right vanishing point. Okay, to the right, from the right. This is going to go back to the left. Okay, and then you can just make your little gutter holes. Those go that way, those go vertical. These come away from the right vanishing point. You could also, and I'll zoom back out here again, kind of show you how things are looking. You could also put a little manhole out here. There's manholes all over the place. Just an oval, couple dots here. Okay, I think that's going to get you started on some great ideas for your project. What we're going to do in our next video is we'll show you how to color these in and really add more three-dimensional value. So I hope you learned a lot from this. I hope it was useful. We'll see you on the next video where we're going to be coloring in this 2-point perspective cityscape with colored pencils.